but a paper towel holder worked out pretty good. Why are you playing with him, T?
Tiny ass bait cat. Nice snap.
Yes! 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 We did not get skunked! We caught a fish! We caught a fish! Yes! Yes! Grab a smaller rod! We need something smaller! This is not stressful enough. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at this beautiful fish. Is it recording?
I'm trying to aim it down.
Oh man. Oh man, he's looking at me. Look at him, he's looking at me. Oh my God, he's like, what happened to me? He's like, I am so screwed. Okay. Lord, thank you for blessing us with this fish and a successful trip. It's a beautiful fish. Hey! Hey, he'll keep.
Put him in, put him in.
4:30. We was awake already at 4:30. Getting ready to go out, and I heard Finn in there going, Daddy! Daddy! I want you, Daddy! So we left. All these numbers are public. Tank 81A. You watch my other YouTube video, how you download the strike line charts for your unit. They'll teach you how to download them onto an SD card. Tank 81A, or whatever these tanks are, that's where we're at. These are all public numbers. It's actually a Scambia, a Pensacola Scambia numbers. Ooh! Get him up! At least it's sporty. Hey, you might got the pound test record for that snapper, you know? And you probably got, what's that?
20.
20 pound test. Light. Get the net. For a sec. Is it on? Yeah. Look at me, man. You gotta put the camera here. So sometimes you get real busy, you ain't got nothing to hold something with. You gotta have both hands and you all tied up with this thing. I got it! I got it! Oh, it feels weird, man. It feels like he got me with his teeth. Hey, look. Now see, I can do other stuff and I'm free. Here you go. Get him off my back. It feels weird. I think I probably got a disease now. Ah! Look, man. Hold on, let me get you back. You got all kind of red marks. It must be safe. I saw it on YouTube. It must have been safe. Tyler, you doing this? Hell no. Hell no. Red. Okay. Hey! Not bad. That's the limit, eh? Oh, yes, indeed. Hey! Hey, look. What did I say? Mike bought a boat. Mike bought a boat. All right, look. To the left, fellas to the right, and everybody's treated as a little underwater action of that Rhodan motor. I guess this thing's waterproof. Here we go. So I'm gonna stand in one spot and let you see from 1 foot away how much deviation this control motor has. Well, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Man, yesterday I'll tell you, I came out here and I anchored up with my Delta up there, my steel anchor. Wind and this current, man. The wind is blowing one way, the current's going another way, and the boat's drifting this way. It was a hassle. This Rhodan is not a hassle. You know, I was like, I'll just try this. I hate to just, I don't know, it's something weird about it. I don't want to just like use all my batteries up just hanging out at the beach, but man, you don't have to hassle with it. I mean, I made 6 or 7 trips to the boat yesterday trying to pull the anchor in as we drifted closer to the beach and this and that, like wind changed directions, the current, the tide changed. This is just done. You're one and done. You're there. Most of these boats that are anchored up next to the beach, they're double anchored. They're anchored in the front, they're anchored in the rear. Well, I don't have 2 anchors. I got 1, so. Trip, flight for 10 minutes. Good morning. Captain Jake here, Wild Man Charters. I'm going to do a quick review of the Twin V310. This is a 2020 model. I bought it last year. I've put about 40 hours on it thus far, and so far I've been very happy with it. As a Twin V owner, I'm kind of partial, so I'm going to complain first. A couple of things that I would like to see done to improve this boat. I'd like to see a plexiglass cover where you can access these buttons over to add additional protection to these buttons, and also prevent you from slapping the buttons when you're underway in rough conditions. You know, you're trying to punch in your waypoints, or you're trying to change your radio, and playing the piano on your buttons is no fun. You end up turning off your live well, and all your bait will be dead when you get there. The other thing is they set the pulpit for the anchor a little too far back, and now when I pull my anchor up snug, it's actually coming into contact with the bow of the boat. That's a simple fix, but it shouldn't contact right here. So that'll just be a matter of moving this out, you know, a little bit, or maybe installing a larger roller could mitigate that issue. As you see, the boat's in use, so I've got my stuff on it. So the boat comes with plenty of rod holders built in. We've got, you know, 4 on each side of the coffin boxes. It's pretty massive. I think it's 300 quarts. Plenty of room in there for dry storage or your gear. I use it for dry storage. We're on a beach trip right now, so no need to put 300 pounds of ice in it. The one other thing that I would like to see, at least as an option from the factory, is if you look at the in-gunnel rod storage here, this is midship. It just makes sense to have one in the back too. If I can get a good shot of that. I had that installed aftermarket by Sterling's Upholstery. They did a great job. Let me get out of here and get the whole thing. They did a great job of matching the design from Twin V, you know. But there's room back here for, you know, storing gaffs or short gaffs and spear guns, and as well as, you know, the 10,000 other little things we keep on our boat. But it just gets everything off the deck. It's one more thing to keep down and up out of your way. plenty of cup holders, plenty of rod holders built in. I had Sterling's Upholstery build me a matching shade for the front of this one, so that was great. Built-in lighting is good. The boat came with taco outriggers, great. The rod is incredible, twin Suzuki 300s, 3x19 pitch props. This is Ultraflex steering, which I love. I'm not a big fan of the joystick controls, so it's just straight power assist Ultraflex. That was a great add-on at Paradise Marine. Fusion stereo, Sinrad, all your basics. Plenty of room for two 12-inch screens here at the dash. Let's see what we got. Paradise Marine also threw in these matching Engel coolers with cushions for seating in the back. Paradise Marine also brings all of these 310s stock with these rod holders in the rear of the boat. You're absolutely gonna have to put those in. This keeps everything out of the way, so all these rod holders down the way aren't filled up with junk. Wiring, I'd say it's better, but it could still see some improvement. It's a little bit more organized than they've seen in the past, but the whole marine industry is stepping up completely immaculately with the wiring. A lot of these companies are, just doing an excellent job of providing diagrams and everything of those schematics. And I think the Twin V could improve the layout. A lot of extra wire there, a lot of tie wrapped up extra wire, and in here it's not real super organized. You can see we could do a better job. Of that, but I'm happy with it. It's comes with a porta potty. There's your drainage from your coffin box. Tackle. That's tackle storage. Access. And just let you peek down into the bilge. Twin V has installed these drains throughout all the bulkheads. You look at the upper and lower plug. So once we pull out of the water, we'll pull those plugs as well as the rear plug to drain any water that got trapped in the upper sponsons, the forward sponsons, and prevent the water logging issue that Twin V has seen in the past. I'm so happy they did that, and I hope it works. Apparently there's a pipe that's perforated all the way up through the sponson at all the bulkheads, so I'm thinking that's going to solve that issue. And that was a huge issue. I had a previous Twin V with that issue. It was a 20-foot 2001 model, and it weighed far more than it was supposed to, and it was just full of water, and I didn't have the nerve to put a 20-foot drill up through my boat, so there you go. Sold it and bought something else. That was several years ago, and I came back to Twin V when I saw the new owner, Joseph. It was kind of changing the way they did things and addressing a lot of the issues that people had with it. I think the finish is great. I think they've done a great job of dressing it up. I mean, you can get the boat bare bones if you want. I believe the combing bolster package was $4,000 or something extra. It was pretty expensive, but it just changes the whole look of the boat. It's a completely different boat when you add that quilted upholstery. The ladies love it. being my wife and her friends, it just changes the feel. You know, it doesn't feel like a hardcore fishing boat. It feels like a luxury cruiser. You know, the twin Suzuki 300s do well. You know, the boat goes as fast as I want it to. The fastest I've seen it is 46 miles an hour, and the best fuel economy I've seen. That's 46 miles an hour. You're going to get about 1 mile per gallon. You know, some trim genius might have trimmed up and maxed out and all this. It might get, you know, 1.2 or something. But just me operating one gallon at WOT. The PDF will tell you it gets better than that. That's not true. Best fuel economy is at 29 miles an hour, and it's between 1.7 and 1.8, 1.9 if you just really get the trim all the way up and everything dialed in perfect and completely flat and straight. Let's see. I like that Halo 24 radar. It's a cheaper option. It's not spinning around up there, so you can get up there and you can sit next to it. And I'm gonna get, you know, I got some of those West Marine big soft chairs to throw up there. We threw the bean back up the area, stay and rode a little bit. The top will support a couple of grown men. I've gotten up there. One thing I'll complain about as well is I'm not sure if this T-top is bolted through, and the heaviness of the bolts. So what I like to see is I like to be able to pull a skier from the T-top. I don't think that's too much to ask. I'd like that T-top to be engineered to be able to pull a skier out of the water from a raised, you know, towing anchor point, you know, and that way if you wanted to go wakeboarding, you don't have to tie up low back here. Anybody that's spending time skiing knows you want some lift. So I mean, just bolt the T-top down. That just makes sense. Bolt it down, engineer it to. It should be engineered to do that. When I reached out to them, they said that it wasn't. I'm confused. That's, you know, this thing catches all the wind. It's a lot of weight. If it's not anchored well, and it could crash back here and kill somebody, it should be anchored well enough to pull a skier. That's not even. That shouldn't even be a question. But I need to ask, and they said no. Let's see what else. What else have I got? Am I even recording here? Shucks, man. I love the boat. I'm a huge fan. I'm in love with this boat. It's gorgeous. Rhodan troll motor. We anchored up at the beach yesterday, and I didn't have to fight with the wind and the wave and the current. And we just sat there for 2 hours and just held it in place. It was a dream. It was a dream just sitting on the beach and watching my boat out there, just anchored 20 foot off the beach, and I don't even have to, and it's not even moving, it's just sitting there. It was so impressive. Easy Rider beanbags, you gotta have those. It's a pretty close match, not perfect. I already had these blue Yetis, they match pretty close. Not perfect. We are 50 shades of blue, so it's all right if we got different tones. Man, another thing, please, if you're gonna put a freshwater washdown button in the pictures, and you know, and I spent $200,000 on a boat, and then I get here and I hit the button and nothing happened. Where's the freshwater tank at? Where's the washdown at? It's $100. Install the freshwater washdown tank. Come on, put the button there and not wire it up. It's not. It should be stock. This boat should be stocked with a freshwater washdown. That's simple. That was frustrating. I got the boat, and I just knew it had a freshwater washdown. I've seen the pictures. I've read the buttons on the pictures of the, you know, that's just. But that's what it is. So I gotta put that in. I gotta have that. You gotta wash that salt water out of your hair, you know, when you get all the water. If you're camping out on the boat or something, you know, take a shower, you know, freshwater washdown. Salt water washdown works great. I put this light bar up front, and it's a tip for you guys. If you're gonna put a light bar, you're gonna love it. It's great. But when you put it, set it far enough back on the T-top to where it does not light up the front of your boat. What you don't want is a white glare on the front of your boat when you're operating at night. So I had Sterling Marine install it for me, and they've done 1,000 of these, and they should have known you put it 6 inches further back and it won't light your bow up. I should have told them, but I didn't, and now I have to drill more holes, and that's gonna make me want to puke. So that's frustrating. Light bars are great. Set it far enough back to where it doesn't light your bow up. That was my fault for not telling them. But they're the professionals. They did a great job though on the shade they built. They did a great job installing this anchor, windlass. The previous hole wasn't cut out perfectly, so they had to put this base down to fill in some gaps that were here. And they just did an amazing job. It looks gorgeous. It looks like it was designed to be here, and it works like a champ. I'm going to talk about the Rhodan trolling motor for a second. It's beautiful. 120 foot-pounds of thrust. It was keeping us offshore in place in 3 to 5 foot seas yesterday. It would get off location a little bit. It would start beeping at us, telling us it couldn't get back to the spot. It was losing location. I don't know how many feet it has to get away before it starts doing that. But I would just turn it off and then hit A again for anchor, and it would grab its spot again. I'll put the trolling motor batteries in the bow. Put them right here. Okay, that's the one on the left side. There's plenty of places to run wire in these boats too. I'll mention that while I'm thinking about it. If you see that, here's your access to run wires. Over here, you got a point right here you can get up to access. You've got tubes run forward and aft for all your wires. Here's your tube right here. That's going to come in handy. You're gonna wanna utilize that. I'm not a marine engineer or anything, but I'm glad we got that, because I'll be pulling speaker wires and pulling. I put 120 volts in this boat, so I can use, you know, some electric cooking devices. And my wife can both blow dry our hair if we're going out or something and we shower on the boat. But here you go. Mincota's alternator trolling motor battery charger. This thing takes your extra you have coming off your alternators, go into your house battery, your cranking battery or whatever, and it sends it to your trolling motor batteries. And oh my goodness, this thing is just such a headache saver. It's just one less thing you have to do when you go on a trip is plug your trolling motor battery charger in every time you forget to do it, or you know, even when you're out there fishing, you fish all day, you run your batteries down. You never run your batteries down with this thing. It's topping you off every time you go between spots. It's been charged. My battery stayed fully charged the whole time I've been here, and I haven't had to think about it. And it just costs the same amount as a plug-in trolling motor battery charger. So why would you want to hassle with when you have the engines to charge? And another thing is it'll save your life of your battery, because you're not deep cycling these batteries. They're designed for it, great, but not taking those deep cycles out of these batteries and keeping them topped off. Just like your car battery lasts for 10 years, these batteries should last a long time. You're not drawing them all the way down. That's why you never have to change your car battery hardly, but you're always changing these trolling motor batteries, because you're sucking them down to nothing and picking them back up. And if you forget to charge it for a weekend, you reduce the battery's capacity by however many percent or whatever. So man, that alternator charger, man, thank you for all these engineers coming up with these beautiful ideas. These Rhodan trolling motor and alternator charger, and making our lives easier. But man, there's just so many things that luxuries, but once you have them, you can't live without them. That Rhodan trolling motor is one of them. It's a luxury. I couldn't live without it. It's great. I'm just gonna keep rambling on about this stuff. My first time to review a boat, really, but I haven't seen anybody do a real good job talking about the intricacies of it. So I wanted to kind of run through. I've shown you in those 3 hatches. Let me show you this. I think they could have pushed the Rhodan trolling motor a little bit more centerline of the bow. The guys that make them will tell you that the closer you are to the center, the easier job it's going to have of keeping the boat on location. So they could have done a better job of that. Here's my Type 1 life vests. I got 8 of them in there. To give you an idea how much room it is, I'm not pulling them all out. Plenty of room for 8 vests. That's what I use them for. Here's the anchor locker. These little plastic hatches, you know, I'm not crazy about them, but you know, they work. I put a few extra vests in here, and here's the anchor locker. Pretty good little size anchor locker. Really wish they had in-deck storage in these boats. But that being said, my buddy's got that Mako 28 with all that in-deck storage, and all it does is give you a place to put stuff to go and die, because every time you pull stuff out of there, it's wet and it's mildewy and it's trash, you know. But life jackets, junk, spearfishing gear, but they stay dry, so that works. Pretty wet, sloppy day coming in yesterday, or going out yesterday. Didn't have any. Man, another thing you got to have this is that little pressure washer. You get it at Lowe's or Stein's or whatever. Get you the little handheld one, not the one with the wheels, a big mess. It's just twice the size of it. It's just stuff in your way, and keep you one of those on the boat. And then get you one of these little black hoses that they sell in those little buckets that has the 0G or whatever. They got probably 1,000 brands of these hoses, but that fabric will not scar up your boat. You won't get the black marks and stuff when you're dragging the hose around your boat. You won't get the black marks on your boat, and you know, while you're cleaning your boat, you're marking your boat up. Now, what I noticed, I got this long 100-foot long hose in here. You put your raw water wash down or your freshwater wash down through one of these long black hoses, and it acts like an accumulator for your water pressure. So the hose swells up on you, and it holds the pressure. You know, so the pump kicks on less often. It's built up that pressure in that hose, and if you're on a kind of a cool weekend at the beach, it acts like a water heater. When you set that hose out in the sun, just in the bucket in the back of the boat, and it's going to heat up that water in that hose. You have a hot shower, and maybe 2 or 3 gallons in that hose. If you have a 100-foot hose coiled up, you have a hot shower. That makes sense to kill 2 birds with 1 stone right there. But it'll burn you if it's real hot, and so just fill it with your hands before you start spraying. Anyways, I hope that this gives you guys some insight and helps you make your decision. If you're looking at buying these 310 Twin V's, and I love it, man. I love it. What else? One of my bolts backed out on a ladder. The bolt that goes right here, I had that super fancy ladder, and it backed out, so I'll remove the ladder, and you can see it up there in the porch. And I'll remove the ladder, and I'm gonna put some Loctite on those cap screws that hold that ladder in place. Loctite the crap out of them. So we all get out there and we, fishing or whatever, or diving, and then we end up running to the next spot, or we'd leave the ladder down, or the ladder flips down, somebody, and every time you roll that ladder up and down, you're torquing that bolt head. If it's twisted a little bit, you're torquing that bolt head, but you're backing that bolt out. So just Loctite the bejesus out of them, and maybe they'll stay. Or bolt through it. It's a hinge, you know. It should be bolted through the lock nut. And that way you never have to worry about that. That's not something I should have to deal with from backing out there. It's a $1,500 ladder. I don't want to lose it. You're not looking back when you're headed to your, next spot.